Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Wednesday, August 7th, 2024 pre-market report. So people, look, let's for a moment really honestly step back and take in the big picture because that's really what matters. What we're seeing here is more world central banks cutting rates. Now, we're being told that the Fed is yet to do that. The Fed has not cut rates yet. They're going to make their announcement sometime soon. Well, let's talk about this headline from this morning. Okay, so weekly mortgage refinance demand soars 16% as rates sink to the lowest level in over a year. Well, let's see. Let's put that together again because it's glaring in our face. So we're being told the Fed is not cutting rates. How is it that rates are dropping precipitously to now their lowest level in over a year? That's because the Fed is in here. They're buying it all, as you have been made well aware of here. But the picture is much bigger than that. So let's talk about some basic stuff here. So we're again being told our economy is the envy of the world. Our economy is strong. The world economy, as a matter of fact, is doing fantastic. Why is it, in your opinion, all right, I want this out of your head, not Greg Mannarino's head. Why is it, in your opinion, that central banks are now reverting back to what really should be called emergency monetary policy? People have very short memories and very short attention spans, and this is what our illustrious leaders are counting on. Okay, so after the meltdown, the stock market crash of 2008, okay, what happened? Central banks, well, they're doing exactly what they're doing now. They're coordinating an effort to cut rates, and the Fed is in here buying all the debt too. Not only is that going on, but central banks are in here again killing the purchasing power of their currency. This is exactly what we witnessed during the last financial crisis. We are in today, in case you need a wake-up call, a financial crisis way worse than, there's no comparison as to what we witnessed last time. Oh yes, absolutely, we're missing the market crash, okay? But that's just, again, what has happened since that time. Central banks, Federal Reserve, along with other central banks, did the same thing. They've been in here buying all the debt since that time. You're not allowed to know that. QE1, QE2, Operation Twist, having puppet leaders in here doing the same thing, allowing their central banks to inflate. And that's the goal here, of course. So you must understand what you're seeing here. We are in a full-blown financial crisis, and the people are being destroyed along with it as the lies, the propaganda, the distractions, the distortions, the calls for lower rates, the calls for a weaker currency. This is emergency monetary policy. You understand? And we're hearing the same thing right out of Kamala's mouth and Trump's mouth. They're pushing the same agenda. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. You know, it's kind of interesting. People have been writing to me, hey, Greg, I haven't heard Trump or Kamala say a word about trickle-down economics. Imagine for a second here if Kamala or if Trump would actually utter those words out of their mouth, trickle-down economics. It'll never happen. Trickle-down economics is a theory. I think most of you, at least with one functioning brain cell, understand that has been in effect for decades here in the United States and around the world, that is working so well. This is why we're seeing this elimination, this extermination of a middle class. It's an incredible thing to watch, but it's happening here. As the 1% and 2%ers, we're creating more millionaires and billionaires than ever in history. Oh, absolutely. Obama, he told us he was the prince of the middle class. He was going to save us all. That didn't work out too well because under him, again, we witnessed exactly the phenomenon that we're seeing now. Right through his tenure, right through Trump's tenure, right through this guy's tenure here. And the illusion. People are so easily duped. It's not funny. Oh yes, the economy was rip-roaring strong, obviously, during Trump's tenure here, wasn't it? Really, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was massive amounts of debt that was pumped into the system that fostered that illusion. Same thing here. Same thing could be said under Biden as well. Oh, we're doing so great because the stock market has hit a string of record highs, which we haven't seen before, I'm thinking, in many, many years. And just the last, we had this sell-off on Friday, followed through by a sell-off on Monday. And, this is just normal activity here. You know that the S&P 500 is up 25% in the last 9 months. But again, they got to get you hyped up. They got to get you afraid. The fact of the matter is, we are clearly moving into a moment in time where people aren't going to believe moving forward here. But the setup is incredible that we're witnessing right now. I just, don't take my word for what I'm saying, any of this stuff. Like, I encourage you to do your own homework all the time here. Central banks working in tandem here to finish what they started here. This is their final solution, and I mean that. Final solution. We are being eliminated. The middle class is being destroyed, and this mechanism is not going to stop. But remember, the Fed is not cutting rates, even though rates just dropped to a one-year low. Oh, they're not. They're buying it all. And this issue of inflation right now is something I've warned would happen for so long. Once we would see that money velocity starting to tick up, the last 3 presidents here in the United States who have been the best friend to the Federal Reserve in the history of this nation. We've never seen 3 presidents more in tune with allowing the Federal Reserve to inflate, because that's their end game. That's their goal here. As a matter of fact, I'll go as far as to say is these 3 presidents here are determined to destroy us all. And whoever they get next to sit behind the Resolute desk is going to play right into that as well. You're being sold the same economic plan here by Kamala, by Trump here. They're promising you lower rates. They're promising a weaker currency, and they're getting cheers for it. People are signing their own death warrants. Let us move forward here. So what I want you to understand, and there's a whole thing that's being hidden from you, and we've covered this before, but it's getting monumentally worse. Okay. The bad debt that is held on the balance sheets of the banks is swelling to heights that have never been seen before, but it's being hidden from you. You're not allowed to know this. Again, well over a year and a half ago now, no loans, no deals, no deposits. The economy is contracting here around the world at its fastest pace we've ever seen. People are being strangled to death as the middle class is being systematically, methodically exterminated. And the key components to this is what we're being sold right here again in the United States with we're going to get, I promise. Who's saying, I promise to get you a lower rate? Well, that's Kamala. That's also Trump. See, Kamala here, she's not talking too much about a weaker dollar, but Trump is. So let's give him credit where credit's due. You can't pull the two apart. You can't have lower rates and a stronger currency. I don't think Kamala understands that. Trump does, quite obviously. And at least he's got the guts to tell people what's happening. And I think you really do got to give credit where credit's due here. Because he knows people are going to cheer for it anyway because they have no idea. See, the general populace has no idea how the system works whatsoever. So both Kamala and Trump can say anything they want to. They can say, we're going to grind all of you up into hamburger patties and eat you. And, we're going to take you to an execution camp and they're going to get cheers for it. People have no idea. They're just so dumbed down. Maybe they deserve to be eliminated. I don't know. It's survival of the fittest, isn't it? Well, I don't know what to tell you, but that's exactly what's going on here. People are being led to the slaughter. And they're signing their own death warrants here. I already told you my economic plan. It has got rave reviews. I mean, I just checked on it, and you could do that too. I post this stuff in my newsletter. I sent out these questions to all of you here. So far, 92% of you believe that Greg's economic plan here would work. My plan is a bottom-up kind of an economic solution or a revolution here. Meanwhile, Kamala and Trump, it's the same thing. It's top down. They will not ever issue the word trickle down because people will go, hold on a minute, what does trickle down mean? It means making the 1% and 2%ers even richer than they are now. And that's supposed to help us because it's really working. Look around the world. As you all know, every single developed nation on this planet has adopted some form of trickle down. No, they can't call it trickle down, but that's what's going on here. It's been going on for decades. And people are watching themselves be eliminated, and that doesn't seem to matter to them. But this is a setup here, people. Central banks are going to fulfill their end game no matter what. You understand what I'm talking about? And it's happening right before your eyes. It's not something that will happen or may happening. It is happening right here and right freaking now. It's only going to get much worse for you. And the issue with regard to the banks, I can't stress this to you enough, how desperate it is, how desperate the situation is. But what we're going to see moving forward is, well, you already know, a domino effect of the smaller institutions collapsing while the mega institutions buy the good assets on their balance sheets for pennies on the dollar. And you and me are going to be stuck with the garbage, just like last time. You think it's going to change? History may not exactly perform the same way, but it certainly does rhyme moving forward. People, look, you got this, okay? If we do not take action to protect ourselves against Kamala, against Trump, okay, we're dead. We're done. Let me explain this to you. These rallies, they're full of brain-dead individuals that are cheering for a weaker dollar, that are cheering for lower rates. They're signing their own death warrant because this is not working. It's not working for them, but they're cheering for it. I think half of these people are paid to be there anyway. I don't believe the polls. I don't believe in anything right now. Just believe what the facts are. And the facts are what they are. The Fed is actually cutting rates here. Okay? They're buying it all. And we haven't seen anything yet. When they give themselves permission, again, it's already being set up with Kamala, with Trump calling for the lower rates. And I said Kamala doesn't even know what it means with regard to a weaker dollar. I really don't think she has any clue at all. She's not an economic expert whatsoever, doesn't understand the monetary system whatsoever, but Trump does. There's no doubt in my mind that Trump understands this. He did go to the Wharton School of Economics, didn't he? Whatever, right? So obviously he gets it, I think, more than Kamala does here. It's another, they're just puppets. And they're here to destroy us here. They can't let you know who the real rulers are of the world, and that is obviously the central banks who have a long-term plan here, and they're bringing us to our knees, people. We're leading up to a climax. You all know that. That is going to spin people's heads around like the freaking exorcist. The financial crisis that we are in right now is unlike anything that we've ever seen before. You need more proof? What are the central banks doing right now? They're cutting rates. They're easing, okay? If you notice what's missing here from all the headlines that you're hearing about the Fed cutting rates, they're leaving out quantitative, okay? People don't even know what quantitative actually means, but they're using the term easing. Easing. This is almost like a hypnosis, a hypnotic term here. They're easing, meaning they're going to be easing. They're easing now, but they haven't made the announcement that they're easing. Easing, I think, is an easier word to swallow for people. Like I said, easing, it almost sounds like a perverted sexual act to me, but that's how my brain works. I guess I'm the twisted one here. But easing makes it people think, okay, it's going to get easier for me. You understand? These words are chosen very carefully. You understand? The whole thing is scripted. Everything from top to bottom, upside down, backwards, and sideways. We are being led to the slaughter, and people are cheering for it. But anyway, look, I'm preaching to the choir here. Banks, the system is toxic. We're being brought down with it. The going to institute, there is no doubt about it. They need an event to blame. I think all of you already know that probably not too far off here. I believe it's going to be more than likely after the selection takes place. The market is going to get propped up. More asset purchases by the Fed, by central banks around the world. The promise of lower rates, same thing. When you're hearing this kind of talk come out of Kamala, out of Trump's mouth, that means they're giving the Fed permission here to create more cash out of thin air and get in the market and buy the debt, which does what? It makes this Federal Reserve monumentally stronger. The more debt a central bank is allowed to issue or called on to issue, the exponentially stronger they become, not weaker. You understand that? That was the lie that was sold last time. Oh, Trump is inflating the debt because he's trying to kill the Federal Reserve. All it actually did was the polar opposite. You all know that who follow this blog here. A central bank has one product, one. The more of their product that they're allowed to issue to the world, collectively central banks, and that is debt, the stronger they become, the more control they have over the world. And the key here, obviously, was this fiat monetary system that they sold to us as well. You know, the art of the deal. The art of the deal is, I covered this yesterday. If you do not own a copy of Donald Trump's Art of the Deal, you're missing out, because it's probably one of the greatest pieces of financial literature in the history of the world, and will allow you to understand how you're being sold here. It's astonishing to me, and everyone here should have a copy of this book. The use of alternative facts, the use of hyperbole mixed with truths. It's an amazing piece of work here. It really, really is here. And again, it's the same agenda. It's the same script that is being used by every salesperson on this planet Earth, including the people running for president right now, including Trump himself, who wrote the book. It's a way to persuade people. It shows you how to do it. And that's what he's using now. That's what Kamala's using right now. They're both doing the same thing. It's politics. This is how they rule us all. It's a game. And we're losing. We are losing on a massive scale. And this is their final solution, people. I don't know another way to put it. Now, with that said, I want you to pay attention to this. This is, again, the MMRI, free to everyone. I benefit zero from you looking at the MMRI, all right? There is a link in the description of this video. This was the trend that you and I have been following for quite a long time. We fell through the floor here recently. This is the Fed, asset purchases. You're seeing, this is not just squiggly lines. This is showing you in real time what's happening here in the debt market, the currency market. This uses the US dollar on a relative strength basis as a calculation, along with the US 10-year yield. And it's a neat little equation how it works with the golden ratio, comes up with this thing. And it's a visual representation of what we're seeing, of what's happening here with the Fed is doing in particular. So we fell off of a cliff here. Massive asset purchases by the Fed here. They're looking for every excuse to inflate. You all know that. And that's what they're going to get. They're going to get a traitor to sit behind the Resolute desk. Understand, whoever's chosen, whoever it is, really should have traitor tattooed across their forehead. Fact. Period. Now, what's going on? Have we now established another down leg? We need to see where this is going to go, my lions here. We need to see. In my opinion, this is going to drop. Okay. Could we see a move up here? See what happens. Look at this trend. Okay. Those of you who know how to read charts know what you're looking at. Support and resistance. We're bouncing back. And then we fell straight through support. Now this becomes resistance. So we get a bounce here and start another track down. I don't know about you, but Greg Mannarino is going to be following this every single day. This is a gift. This is a gift to all of you. I mean, really, I created this for myself, and but I've shared it with all of you so you can get a handle on the inner workings of this entire thing. And I hope you take advantage of this. Again, it's 100% free. If you think I benefit from this, I don't. I could have charged for this. Just click on the link in the description of the video, scroll down, and you're going to get a real-time picture. It's so easy to read. It's color-coded and everything else for you. And I really do hope you take advantage of this here. So let's just summarize real quick, people. We are in a financial crisis of financial crises. There's nothing like this before in the history of the world, and who's paying for it? You are. The middle class is being eliminated, gone again, all the mom and pop shops of yesterday, all right? You think that's just by accident in favor of the corporate structure? The corporate agenda, which is, of course, a takeover, or the military-industrial complex, the Federal Reserve here. It's all a mechanism to suck us completely dry, and then convincing us that what we're seeing is not real, convincing us that they have our best interest in mind, and people cheering for it. You can't make it up if you try to. You can't do it. It's an impossibility. And unfortunately, that's exactly what we're seeing here on an epic scale. But you and I, what are we doing? We're taking action. Let me say something real quick. My economic solution, or I would say a revolution, to this, and all of you have a copy of my plan who subscribe to my newsletter. If you don't, please do subscribe to my newsletter. It's also free. I benefit zero from this, if those of you think that I do. Okay, nothing. It's free. The best things in life are free, period. So my economic plan here, which is polar opposite of what you're being told by Kamala or Trump, I mean, it would work. So it has no chance, zero, of actually being implemented. So you're going to see again, if we were to establish my just basic two premises, which would be obviously a stronger currency and not lower rates, but higher rates. This would build up the bottom up. The mom and pop shops would come back. The number one killer of every world economy is both of these elements, is the weaker dollar or the weaker currency here, which central banks are in a race to the bottom to destroy their own currencies, leading us up to a climax, a new system, of course, problem, reaction, solution, get the people to beg for one. My only concern here is what they're going to do. What are they going to do? What event is going to precipitate it? Because again, they need a scapegoat. They're not going to blame the central banks. They're not going to blame anything. They're going to come up with, well, it's this reason's fault. Another scamdemic, possibly much worse than the last one. Obviously, more war, death, pain. Well, this is the reason. They need people to focus or be absolutely deceived. Look here. Don't look over there. You understand? It's a setup, people. But again, you and I are way ahead of the curve on this. Not only from a financial standpoint, people, I'm telling you to be ready across the board. Mentally, physically, spiritually. Have your affairs in order here, okay? And continue to follow the plan that you and I have implemented from many years ago. Take advantage of everything that comes along your way. The system is designed more than ever to wipe you out. I don't know another way to put it. And so if we don't take advantage of this, at least from every angle that we can, okay, then we are going to be on the losing end. And I refuse to allow that to happen. You will not lose. I will work double as hard as I do now, if I have to make sure that every single one of you, I have a responsibility here, okay? And it's a pretty big one. I have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who follow this blog, who count on information that is actionable, not just sitting here and being entertained. You understand? It's a pretty large burden, I think, but I am willing to take that. I consider it a privilege to kind of be the daddy here. And I think all of us here get it. And what I want is just one thing, is to make a positive difference, to make people. I don't want you to believe anything that I'm saying as gospel truth, okay? What I want you to do is ponder what I'm saying. Do your own research and come up with your own conclusions. That's really what I want. I would be willing to bet that after your own research, you say, wow, you know what? Everything Greg has said is true. If it is not true, well, then school me. Tell me where I've got this wrong. I may be 59 years old, but I am not too old to learn a new trick. This guy here lives here from the heart, people, and I mean that. I hope you've got something out of this video. If so, I want to hear from you, please. And share it. Thumbs up are always important. It allows the algorithms to pick up these videos, and they get seen. Okay, so it's up to you. You want people to hear this stuff? Give the video a thumbs up. If you think this is nonsense, then of course don't give me a thumbs up. Don't share the video. That's okay too. I am trying to get through to a select people here. This is a natural selection that's going on. People that just are so blinded, have fallen through those trapdoors that have been set for them, they're done. They have literally signed their own death warrant. Those people are not winners. This channel is for winners. Period. This channel is for lions. Period. I consider every single one of you that have sat through this video now for going on 25 minutes to be a winner and to be a lion. With that, people, I'll see you later. All right, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. That's it, man. All right. Until we meet again, take care of yourselves and each other. That's all.